There we go.
All right. Welcome to Wake Up. It's game day. Don't know what happened. Our video did not play. Um, so we're gonna go over the top 24. What is going on here? It is not doing nothing. It's shutting down. Are you guys there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what happened. It's like going crazy here. Um, so we're gonna talk about the top 25, the biggest upsets, the biggest downfalls. We're gonna go over the predictions for this week, upcoming week, and we're gonna go over some lower tier teams as well. Let's start out with Ohio State and Texas. 14-7. Arch Manning. What do you guys think about him? To me, he didn't live up to the Manning name, and they dropped to number 7.
Yeah.
Correct. Zach, you want to start this out?
Yeah, I would love to start this out because yet again, I called something again. Arch Manning is all hype, and he just has the last name. That's all he got.
Yeah. Josh?
Well, I mean, we kind of all saw it come. He played for a 2A high school.
Yeah, he was overhyped.
I mean, and his mechanics look terrible. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It looked like his elbow was connected to his ribs the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
He did not look comfortable in the pocket.
No, he didn't.
They got a lot to work on. If people that think that before the season that thought they were going to be national championship contenders.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys still have them?
I mean, I still think they're a contender for sure, but they got to fix a lot of things.
Yeah, I agree with that. They got a pretty tough schedule coming up, I do believe.
Their next 3 is like a cakewalk. They got a cakewalk,
like
and then
they were last year.
Yeah, they got an easy 3 games coming up, and then they got to come to the swamp. So,
yeah. I mean, what do you think they're going to do when they come to the swamp? They're going to be what, 3-1?
Yeah, they're going to more likely be 3-1 coming into that game. So,
Okay.
and I mean go ahead, 64. You can go.
Go ahead.
Oh, you're good.
Go. Talk about that bum Arch Manning.
Well, as far as Arch Manning goes for me, I'm trying not to put too much on the game. You have to understand, Ohio State is the top tier defense. It was a very cagey and it was a very defensive game. That being said, I completely agree with what Josh said. The mechanics were not there, and I'm not going to sit here and claim to, know what basic QB mechanics look like. I didn't ever play football, but he just looked anxious. He looked out of place. He didn't look like the quarterback that everyone's hyping him up to be. And I'm not going to write him off just this second, but I really don't think everyone's talking number 1 draft pick in 2 years. I didn't see that, and I don't think we will see that going forward, but he will be better. I just think he needs to get comfortable. I think it was the same thing that Michigan was kind of waiting for with Underwood, is let him get that first game under his belt. Luckily for them, it was an easier game. So I just think he got thrown to the wolves with Ohio State. It's tough, reigning national champion. So I'm not putting too much on the table for him right now, but I will be watching next week and the next 2 weeks to see where he goes. He has to go up. If he goes down, then just bench him, transfer him somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about LSU game. LSU and Clemson, right?
Yeah.
That was a pretty defensive game as well. There was a lot of defensive games this weekend. Clemson, LSU being it. The thing about the Clemson LSU game that got me, LSU's defense has never been, the last 4 or 5 years, has never been top tier. The way the defense looked to me, this past weekend, they have a chance to compete for a title with the way the defense looked against Clemson.
Yeah, that's Brian Kelly's first win. He was what, 0-4?
0-5 walking into that game in season opener.
0-5. Okay. I thought this was his 5th game. What do you guys think Clemson looked like? You know, I mean LSU, they were predicted to be good. Is Clemson rated too high?
I don't think so. I think they were ready right where they were supposed to be. I mean, they have one of the most returning productions in the nation. K. Klubnik, a Heisman candidate. That team is just stacked and everything. It's just LSU caught them.
I think it was just good versus good. I think it was good versus good, and basically it was close where it came down to the wire on that one.
Now, I do have one thing I want to say about that game. Head coach Dabo Sweeney has came out and allegedly said that Brian Kelly's paid $500,000 and paid off the referees for that game. He just came out and allegedly said Brian Kelly paid off the refs.
Can we see that happening?
I mean, it could have. I mean, it very well could have.
Yeah, especially from an SEC school, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
There's definitely no scandals in the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah, surely not. Surely not.
Ohio State or
Michigan,
totally, they've never done
with
that.
With a $20 million check, Michigan just had to write, yeah.
Hey, they're still fighting that. And I'm not a Michigan fan by any means, but they're still fighting it. They basically, not to go too deep into it, I listened to Detroit's Finest on TikTok. If everyone wants to go check him out, he's a great Michigan fan to watch. And they basically got a slap on the wrist with that $20 million and turned around and said, F you, we're not paying it. We want less.
Yeah.
But speaking of that game, going into another shocker of the weekend, I mean, everybody knows that Alabama, FSU, crazy to think about. I've said my thoughts on it. I think it was not Alabama football. It was undisciplined. There were people jogging. Star players didn't show up. And when you're quarterback and only one wide receiver are playing up to close to the standard, you're going to lose the game.
Well, I think Alabama's running backs were playing hard, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, we're missing Jam Miller, our number one back, but
yeah.
But I mean, they ran hard. I forgot big boy's name. He's like 240 pounds.
Richard Young.
Yeah, Young. Dude, he got the ball, man. It was like 4 or 5 yards of carry almost every time.
Yes.
You know, they should have just stuck with the run. I think the issue with Alabama in that game, that first drive, they took up, 6-7 minutes of the clock?
Yeah, took up a good chunk of that clock.
So they ran the clock down. They kept the Florida State defense on the field. And I'm like, okay, we keep this up. And after Florida State scored, and I told the wife, and I was sitting here, and I was like, okay, now Florida or Alabama keeps running the ball and just running it down Florida State's throat.
Mm-hmm.
We could, because Florida State looked good their first drive. That quarterback was running all over the place.
Yeah,
if we would have just kept to the run and taken field goals, and there's points on the board right there.
I think one of the big problems is the board's trying to implement his passing attack and everything. This is not the Pac-12. You can't just air raid it out. This is the SEC where you got to be a balanced offense. You can't just pass and win.
Yeah. And I seen a video of Ryan Williams got off the bus and had a teddy bear in his hand.
All right.
Did you see that, Josh?
A lot of stuff is happening under the DeBoer culture that I think needs to be addressed. But in my opinion, I think it will get addressed, and hopefully we can turn it. It's only week 1. We can turn the season around. But do y'all want to get into y'all's thoughts on it? The new AP poll dropped yesterday.
Yeah, well, I want to hit on Miami and Notre Dame.
Yeah. All right, we hit on that one for.
What do you guys think? There's two more games.
I'm just gonna come out and say this. I was completely wrong about that quarterback down there at the U. You know, Sid soft looking guy named Carson Beck. He looked pretty good. He trying against a good Notre Dame defense. So I'll give props to Beck.
Just so y'all know, I called this about 3 weeks ago. I said Miami would upset Notre Dame. Miami looked dominant in that game until like the last 5 or 6 minutes of the game when it started getting close.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that offensive line for Notre Dame, yeah, that their O line just got completely dominated by Miami's D line.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. I think Carson Beck looked pretty good too in that game. What do you think?
He had good composure.
All rise Drew Aller. What do you think?
I'm the same as Mullet. I'm not gonna lie. I said for weeks and weeks and weeks that no team should be losing to a Georgia reject quarterback in Miami when they've got no defense. They lost a lot on offense, and all they brought in was a pretty boy that says he plays quarterback.
Yeah.
And I have to take it all back, and I have to eat my words. He looked good. He looked, like you said, he looked composed. He, 20 for 31, 205, 2 touchdowns. Did exactly what he had to do. Did not try to overperform. Did not underperform. Did not disappoint. But I will say, Josh had said Miami dominated, and by the eye test, if you watch the game, it did look like they dominated. I had to go back. The total yardage, 324 to 314 in Miami's favor. The time of possession was particularly close. I mean, you look at it as a full game, including that last quarter, which is where Notre Dame really started to ramp it up a little bit. It was a lot closer than it really seemed. Because if you sat there and watched 1, 2, and 3, you turned it off and you said, "Oh, Miami's absolutely winning this game," and it became a lot closer as it went on. Notre Dame, to me, though, they just went away from what they should be doing. Jeremiah Love is the best running back in the country, if not one of the best running backs in the country.
Yeah,
and he could not get going, and they really didn't help him out getting going. Like Molt said, the offensive line didn't do him any favors. They only got him the ball 10 carries. When you got the top running back in the country,
you got to give him the ball more.
You have to give him the ball. I get you're losing, but that is your game plan. He is your player, your star player. CJ Carr looked almost scared. If you remember that Lions-Vikings game from last year, the last one of the season, where they got in Sam Darnold's face, that's what CJ Carr looked like. He would not live up for the pressure. Now, that being said, he had a pretty good game outside of that, but he needs to really step it up if they're not going to be spoon-feeding Jeremiah Love. And I don't think Notre Dame's in trouble. They got a pretty decent schedule moving forward.
Well, let's see. This week they're at home to A&M, but then in a couple weeks they take a road trip to Fayetteville.
That is false, sir. They do not play A&M this week.
When do they play A&M?
That's not for a few weeks from now.
I know they got a road trip here soon to Fayetteville, and that could be a pretty sketchy one.
Yeah.
I think they'll straighten. Notre Dame's one of those teams, like we saw it last year, that they lose to Northern Illinois?
Yeah, NIU, and then they went on a run.
And then they go on a run and they make it to the national championship. I'm not putting a lot on this game. It's a top 10 matchup. When you see these in the first week of the season, somebody has to lose. So you can't put too much on that loss. To touch back on the Alabama thing, I think Alabama's best case scenario is one, you have to win out, or at least only one more loss throughout the season. Also, Florida State probably has to be damn close to undefeated to make that loss look a little bit better when it comes down to playoff time.
Well, honestly, to go off of what you're saying, I don't think Alabama has to win out. I mean, honestly, people not realize it's a non-conference loss. So even if we only lose one more game this year, and we're in the top 2 for the SEC, we still could make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I remember talking about that yesterday.
I mean, should be a practice game with Louisiana Monroe. Like, we got to look back. Nick Saban, his first season as head coach, lost to Louisiana Monroe. That's the biggest upset in Alabama history right there. Not this Florida State game. Like, Florida State, are not 100% comparable to 2 years ago, but are they close to being compared to whenever they went undefeated and missed the playoffs?
I think they have the right quarterback now, and they have the right offensive mind to get them to where they need to be to win, to be competitive in football games again.
Yeah, could they? If they play like they did against Alabama, can they win their division?
What, win the ACC?
Yeah,
That's tough.
I don't see why not. It's just, I mean, yeah, they play Clemson and Miami, which are two of the best teams in that conference. So it's a great test. If they can split with those, then yeah, sure, they'll be fine. They can make the ACC title. But on the other hand, gotta watch out for Georgia Tech still, because they're a pretty dang good team.
yeah.
There's a lot of teams you still gotta watch out for.
And I'll put this out there. It was just week 1, and every team with the first game, they spend weeks, months getting ready for that first game, having the perfect game plan. So you never know. They could have a whole different game plan going into the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's hit on South Carolina and Virginia Tech. That game, South Carolina looked like complete shit.
It was very floppy.
What was it? 1 point game going into halftime?
Going into half, it was a 2-point game.
10-8.
Yeah.
Nobody
that game was very sloppy.
Like, South Carolina did not impress me at all. Not at all.
No, and they didn't pull away in that game until late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're doing this against probably what, a mid-tier ACC team. That's a little worrisome.
Yeah.
If they don't pick stuff up together, they're going to be in for a long season.
Yep.
I don't know. I get what you guys are saying. Didn't look good. It didn't look pretty. Averaged over 4 yards a carry. Lenore Sellers went for 200 yards in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They finally uncaged Nick Harbor, who apparently has said that he's focusing on football this year. 3 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown. This guy is one of the best athletes in college football. When it comes to pure athleticism, he's tall, he's fast, he can catch, and he's focusing on football.
Yeah.
Remember a couple weeks ago, I said Lenore Sellers and Nick Harbor could be the combo in the SEC as far as a quarterback receiver duo.
Yeah, but they got to put up more points. I mean, if you can only put up 24 against Virginia Tech,
I'm not impressed after this game. I'm just saying that it was a bright spot for things to come, because we had games last year where Harbor went for 0 catches or went for 1 catch for 20 yards. Where he should be catching the ball 30, 40, 50 yards down the field.
Especially with what you're saying on that. Nick Harbor, I looked at the stats. He had I think 34 catches last season for 399 yards.
Exactly.
He had 3 catches for 99. He's almost a third of he almost got 1/3 of what he got last year in one game.
Yeah.
Yep. I said this about South Carolina. I do think that they can be good. I don't think they're contending for any conference championships or national championships, but they will be competitive against the big schools. And it's going to come down to unleashing that offense. You got a guy like Lenore Sellers can air that thing out. And
I know he can.
Yeah. And you got a guy like Nick Harbor. That has to be the combo. That's going to be the game-changing play. You know, late in the second quarter, right before halftime, you score a 70-yard touchdown. That deflates the other team right before halftime. They need to make those big plays. And, you know, like we said, it did not look good. But I think it can get better.
All right. Let's move on to a team that we can really make fun of, and that is North Carolina.
That was
them against TCU, 48-14.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and freaking roast Bill in chat. It was his first game. He went against one of the best passing offenses from last year, where TCU was ranked 8th in the country in passing offense. So, I mean, to no surprise, TCU it rated well.
And it's just crazy. He paid. Reportedly, UNC paid $4 million for Gio Lopez, and Max Johnson looked 10 times better than him.
I do not
So
understand.
they have a quarterback competition now, in my opinion, in North Carolina. I think it should be Mac. I think they should let Max Johnson start this week and see if the offense gets any better under him, because they need to figure out the offense before they get into ACC play.
Yeah, definitely.
Gio Lopez plays 3/4 of that game, passes for 69 yards. Max Johnson comes in, 103 yards in 1/4 and a touchdown.
Yes,
9 for 11.
And going off of what you said, Gio had most of those passing yards on the first drive of the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only drive from what I've seen in that game. That was the only drive I saw that he looked confident enough in.
This is the one time I will say that Belichick really screwed the pooch on it. I get you bring in Gio Lopez, you paid money for him, and you should start him. Max Johnson, correct me if I'm wrong, got hurt in the first game last year.
Yep.
Before he got hurt, he was like 12 or 15 or 12 or 17, 100-something yards. He looked great. Everyone said, oh, this is our guy. Ends up not playing the rest of the season. Comes back and then doesn't get the start. You got to think that's going to light something under this guy's bottom.
Yeah, and
I really do think that if they start him, they could have some good games. I don't think they're going to be necessarily competitive, but they're going to have some good games going forward.
I think with Max Johnson there, they could possibly get bowl eligible with him starting at quarterback. With Gio, I don't know if they could.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
And also, people don't realize Max Johnson had a long way to get back to this. I looked up, he had 6-7 surgeries, and they possibly were going to amputate his leg because it wasn't healing the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy to come back from that and then be in third. You'd think he would be starting right away because of everything. He basically gave his life to that program.
Yeah, he has got a lot of ammunition to come back and perform. And if you look, like, I know it's a different system, I know it's a different coach, but it's the same program as a whole. Drake May, Mitch Trubisky, Sam Howell, these are guys that were prominent in the NFL. Whether they were dominant in the NFL, they were prominent in the NFL. This program, again, not the same coaches, not the same scheme and everything, but they produce quarterbacks somehow. They always do. Different coaches. You know, it was it Mac Brown the last couple of years there? It was somebody else back when Mitch Trubisky was there. So, again, they're putting out these quarterback prospects that are somehow doing well. Sam Howell in his rookie year was like top. He led the league in passing for most of the season and then kind of fell off at the end. So I'm just flabbergasted. I really don't get it. Mac Johnson was the clear answer for all four of us sitting here.
Yeah.
And they went and really screwed the pooch.
Yeah. Do y'all want to start getting into some of these top games for this coming up weekend?
Well, let's hit on we want to hit on some lower tier teams real quick from last week. We've seen Boise State get upset by South Florida.
No, that wasn't an upset, sir. That was a ball whooping.
I think everybody named Mama knew Boise State was not going to be as good as they were last year.
No. When you lose your production of your offense and F and Genty, you ain't gonna be nothing. I'm sorry, but you're not.
Right. All right. Where you guys want to hit at on some teams? You guys want to talk about some good games? Ole Miss, Kentucky coming up.
But all right. I think one game that's like, it's not like a lot of people are not talking about it, but a game I'm looking forward to this weekend is Illinois versus Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, number 12 Illinois traveling to Duke.
Number 11 Illinois.
Or number 11, my bad. One ranking off.
Traveling to Duke with their new quarterback that they paid like $10 million for.
Yeah, Marion Mensah.
Yeah, Marion Mensah. Duke looked good last week, and it's going to be the real test for Illinois that they can. Illinois has always been this is the highest they've ever been ranked to start the year.
Yeah.
If they got to show that they deserve to be up there, but if they lose a game to Duke, that the whole season could unravel after this.
Yeah, it could.
It definitely could.
Yeah,
And
that one.
And I'm looking at the spread right now. Illinois is a 2.5 point, only a 2.5 point favorite over Duke right now.
Wow. Like, you think that Duke can upset them?
They definitely could. I mean, they have all the right pieces.
Manny Diaz's defense, like he's a very defensive minded head coach. He's gonna have that defense ready for whatever Illinois is gonna throw at him.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois.
I think Illinois is all hype. That's just me, though.
I'm with you. You can't just base a team's success on the players they're returning, because it's not necessarily the number that everyone threw around before the season. We talked about it on here. Oh, they're returning 73% of their players. They're not returning 73% of their starters.
No.
That's the big differential you have to make. I get you're keeping guys in the program. They're staying with you. You're building something.
But it's not the starters.
It's not always the starters when you say that whole number as a whole. Now, they did retain quite a few starters, on both sides of the ball. But they played a schedule last year that's kind of similar to the schedule this year, which is not particularly a strong schedule.
No, it is not.
They have, I'm not going to say it's inflated their win total, but I think it's made them look a little bit better than they are. And yeah. I love that Josh brought this up, because I personally think Duke is going to just go in there. They're going to lead from the first possession all the way through to the fourth quarter. And it's going to come down. I think it comes down to the last possession, but I think Duke has the lead for a majority, if not the whole game. Yeah, and if Duke pulls this off, that's definitely going to hurt Illinois quite a bit for getting back into that playoff spot, because of their strength of schedule. I mean, what, in the hundreds, I believe it is, or somewhere around there. Yeah, it's not good. They don't play. I think they play one of the top Big Ten teams, and which that's a game they're going to lose too. I mean, that's what happened last year. I think they faced Ohio State and got freaking straight belt and everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys think about Ole Miss and Kentucky?
The thing with that is Ole Miss is really good on offense. They're really good all over the place. But Kentucky, their defense is good. Like, they have the number. I looked up. They have the number one pass rushing defense right now.
Yeah.
After 1 week.
Where's that game being played?
I think it's being played. Let me look.
It's at Kentucky.
It's at Kentucky. So that could help Kentucky. But I was not very impressed with Kentucky's offense last week. Barely beating a lower tier FBS team, Division I team. And Zach Calzada, if I saw correctly, he was like 12 of 25 for only like 100-something yards and one touchdown.
Yeah, but the one thing I can't say about this, it's at home for Kentucky. It's at Kroger. And we all know Lane Kiffin loves losing them road games.
Yeah, he does.
Especially ones that nobody sees them losing.
Exactly. And I think this is one where they could lose.
This game really could be a toss-up, but it's you just never know.
Yeah, you literally never know. I mean, like last year with freaking Ole Miss and everything, everyone thought they had that clear-cut ride to the playoffs. And, well, a road trip in Gainesville kind of solved that bus.
Yeah. What do you got on it, Skin?
I'm not going to lie to you. I do not know much about Ole Miss, Kentucky. I was just looking at some of the box scores there, which you can't base everything off of. Everything that you guys have said, taken into consideration, I do think that Ole Miss can go in there and get the victory. But I think it's going to be another one like Duke and Illinois. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the final quarter probably. Ole Miss probably pulls it out. I think offensively they have a little bit more than Kentucky. So we'll see. That's one of the we'll sees. I got another one. I got another one here. I'll wait till we get to it though.
Yeah, I got next one. I got Florida at home, and South Florida's coming to there. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the
I'll let you
In
hit
your
on that.
dreams, Skin. And your
Here's
dreams.
the big thing with that game, in my opinion, Chad, is I don't know if I'm saying his name, Byron Brown.
Yep.
If he can rush like he did against Boise State, the Gators will be in trouble.
Well, Josh, just remember one thing: we have one of the top defensive lines in the country rolling into that game.
Don't be biased now.
I'm not. It's a legitimate fact.
That's true.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
I'm messing with you.
If you go back and look at Florida's previous game, and I hate using the weak opponent excuse.
Yeah, I mean we play Long Island, but
yeah, if you look at it from just a statistical standpoint, you've got a team in Long Island. They lost 55-0.
Yeah, 55-0. Shut out.
When you're losing and you're trying to make things happen, what generally do you see the losing team's offense do? Set the pace, run the ball. Option the quarterback a lot of the times. That being said, their quarterback, now he's not top tier quarterback. He's not Byron Brown, but 12 rushes for 6 yards. I think Byron Brown is going to be caged up this game. And Zach, I just bought this. I was at the grocery store right before this. I just bought this because I wanted to show you. I wanted to bring it up for you. I love Byron Brown. He is not afraid of contact. He is going to push.
He's not.
He's going to push some of those D linemen around. I think he's got the strength, but he is not going to. He's not going to replicate what he did in week 1.
No, I mean, we have one of the top edge rushers in the country, and Tyreek Sapp and everything. He's a projected top 10 pick this year. I mean, he's gonna feast on that team.
Yeah. This might be another slaughter.
All right, let's move on. Man, there's been a lot of talk, a ton of talk from Mr. Kansas on our other platform. So they play Mizzou this week. Mizzou, I know they played, I do believe, Arkansas State.
Central Arkansas, I believe it was.
Yeah, Central Arkansas. They put 61 up on the board on them.
Hey, Chad?
I know that's a low tier, very, very low tier team, but Mizzou looked good in that game.
They did. I got 3 letters for you for what Missouri's going to do to Kansas. It is BTA. That's what's going to happen.
Now, slow your roll,
Can you tell us?
No, we are not slow on our roll. Missouri is putting belt.
I have watched Kansas this year. Jalen Daniels he's cleaned up his passing. His passing is not. He's not throwing.
I don't want to hear that. He played Fresno State and Wagner. I don't want to hear none of that.
And then they got. I mean, I might be a little bit biased here because I got a friend on the team, Emmanuel Henderson.
Oh, good.
Well, tell your friend to get ready to play some real comp.
But I think it's going to be a good game. I don't know. I can't say who's going to win because I really don't know.
No, Bo Pribula is throwing for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I'm saying this right, Bo
Pribula.
Yeah, he looks like the real deal. I will say.
He's going for a minimum 304 touchdowns.
I will say this: he looks better than Brady Cook looked last year or two for Mizzou.
Well, we can say last year, but the year before, no, because the year before that he had
Cody.
He had Luther Burden and everything, but he still had that really good halfback that helped him out.
Cody Schrader.
Yeah, Schrader.
And he went to the NFL draft.
Yep.
And here's another game I want to. It's not. I know many people won't. This is like.
Well, what's your score prediction on the Kansas Mizzou game?
I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Honestly, I
think Mizzou puts 40 up on them and only gives up maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns.
56-14, Missouri.
Unbiasedly, I think it's
42 to 17.
Unbiasedly, I think it's 35-28 Mizzou.
So after this win, does Mizzou get ranked?
No,
because Kansas is not ranked, so it won't really affect it. But they will move up in the power rank in the AP poll, like outside the rankings. I think they'll move up a little bit.
Plus, I don't think we see a shakeup amongst the top 20, like the bottom part of the top 25 this week either.
I do think we see a shakeup, and this is where it's about one of my coming up here in a minute. I'm gonna talk about it. But here's another game that I'm very interested in because it's the first rivalry game of the year, in my opinion. We got Iowa versus Iowa State on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Fox.
That's gonna be a good game.
All I'm gonna say
Iowa
is
State's undefeated, so
both teams undefeated. Iowa State's coming off of 2 big wins, and then we got Iowa. They had a big win over a FCS school, if I'm thinking correctly, and they got, if I'm not correct, Iowa's got that South Dakota State transfer, don't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, he was one of the top quarterbacks in the FCS. It's going to be a good game. I think this is one of the games I'm looking forward to this weekend.
All I'm gonna say is give me Rockdale Beck and the Cyclones. Yeah, I mean Rockdale Beck's been looking pretty dang good so far. I mean he looked good against K-State, looked good this past week. So give me Rockdale Beck and them Cyclones.
We got 64.
Oh man, this is always a tough game to predict. Iowa has won 7 of the last 9. Iowa State obviously won last year by a point. I do think that Rocco Beck has kind of picked it up this year. He looks a little bit better than he has, last year. And Iowa, you're not hearing much about them coming into the season. I don't think anyone's expecting them to beat any big time schools. They're expecting them to win, mid table, if not up into the upper end of the table in the Big Ten.
They usually win always like 7 or 8 games every year.
Yeah, they're kind of bang average, a little bit above average when it comes down to Iowa. But this game is always this is their Super Bowl. This is their national championship every year. You have to beat Iowa State. And they've been consistently doing it, and they've done it on the backs of their defense. And I do think that if they can get to Rocco Beck and force some mistakes, if we see even 1, maybe 2 interceptions or maybe a fumble and the turnover battle goes in the way of Iowa, I don't think that Iowa State's got the firepower to overcome that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very cagey defensive. On the Iowa side, it's going to be cagey and defensive. They're going to be trying to control the possession. That's what they've been known for since I've been alive, 30-something years. So I think that Iowa does pull this off. I think we're going to see, I don't know if you would consider that an upset, but they're going to control this.
Yeah. Iowa's unranked. Iowa State's where that was somewhere, I think in the 20s.
Iowa's 16th in the country right now.
There you go.
Iowa State. I just think that they're going to, they have to keep Rocco Beck contained, and they have to keep the ball out of his hands. If they can do that, they can easily win. I think it's an easy win if they can do that. Force a mistake.
Yeah, but if they don't keep that ball, out of Rocco Beck's hands, that game's going to get ugly real quick.
Yeah, it could turn into a bloodbath. This is one that could go either way. I think if you follow history's pattern, though, Iowa's poised to make the upset.
Yeah.
I agree with you, 64. I think Iowa's going to win this game. It's going to be a low-scoring defensive game, and I think that's the reason they win it. Because the spread right now on this game is only 3.5. Like that, it's showing it. And looking back on the history, these games are closer, even when the better team is better than the other team by miles.
Yeah, okay. I got it here. Last year was a 1-point game. The year before, Iowa wins 20-13, and then you have a couple higher scoring ones. You have a 10-7, then you have a 27-17, 18-17, and then you're back 13-3, and then you have two games in the 40s in the mid 2010s. So historically, history is bound to repeat itself if you don't try and change it. They're going to be low scoring defensive games, just like Josh said.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's move on. Probably the biggest game of the week is going to be Michigan and Oklahoma. Oklahoma was not ranked, and they are now ranked.
No, they were ranked.
I thought
they were both ranked.
Were they both ranked last week?
Yeah, they just moved up a little bit in the rankings.
Yeah, so they're number 18 Oklahoma at home, and they're bringing in Michigan
with a true freshman Bryce Underwood coming in for his first road game.
What you guys got on those? I actually have Oklahoma upsetting Michigan.
You want me to be honest about this game? This is no shots being thrown towards y'all. This is going to be a Bama FSU all over again. True freshman on the road. Yeah, it's not well. That stuff does not end well. Especially going into a hostile environment like Oklahoma. It's not going to end well for Michigan.
Zach, I disagree with you, and I'll give you 2 reasons why. First off, Michigan's defense, in my opinion, is better than Oklahoma's. And number 2, Oklahoma, their best running back, Jaden Otten, and he only got 1 carry the last game for -3 yards against the lower tier opponent. They didn't want to run because I think he's coming back from injury and everything. But if that injury is still lingering, that's going to be a big hurdle that the Oklahoma offense has to get around.
So you're saying it's going to have to be a passing attack?
Yes, I think so. And I think with that being said, Michigan's got the passing, they got the running, they're known for defense. I think Michigan wins by at least a touchdown in this one. And I think if they win by more than a touchdown this game, Oklahoma sees their way out of the top 25.
Okay. I know they got Michigan winning by it's 53.5% to 46.5%.
And to go off what you're saying,
not much of a spread here. So
what you're gonna say? It's got the point spread right now is Oklahoma 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of right in between where these guys are at. You know, Mullet's got Oklahoma winning, Josh got Michigan winning. I'm kind of right down the middle. I think the keys to this game for each team is Michigan's got to lean on that run game. We saw Illinois State put up 113 yards on this Oklahoma defense, and we saw last week, what's his name, Justice Haynes?
Yeah.
Went absolutely berserk on top of what Bryce Underwood had done. I get it's low opponents. I get all that, but he is a good running back. He's gonna pile on some yards. I think this is a high scoring game. I think they blast through the whatever the total points is on the bet naps. Mateer, as advertised, came in, passed for almost 400 yards.
He went for 392 yards. That's the most in a season opener for Oklahoma.
Yeah, I mean, Mateer's as advertised. Michigan did struggle a little bit against the pass. I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to control the tempo. Again, same thing like we just talked about with Iowa and Iowa State. Mateer is an elite level passer. We've seen it. I get the opponent was a low level opponent, but he's proven it in years past. And you got to keep the ball out of his hands. You have to control the time of possession. You have to take advantage of where they're weak, which for Oklahoma, for me, is their run defense. You have to take advantage of that. Keep the clock moving. Give them 1, maybe 2 drives in a quarter and hope that you can make a stop. That being said, I do agree with Josh. Michigan has always been known running and defense. I'm not seeing that same championship level defense this year that we've seen in years past. I think they just might have lost a little bit too much. If you talk to Michigan fans, outside of here, they will tell you the same thing. They're not seeing this championship level defense is going to carry them. They have to essentially carry themselves. I think Bryce Underwood having a game under his belt is going to help him. But again, going away into a hostile environment, like you guys said, he's going to struggle, which is why I do think they need to lean on that run even more than they were last week. So I'm right down the middle with this. I think this is high scoring, given that they can both be effective on their drives, scoring almost every possession, getting 1 to 2 possessions per quarter, dragging it out. But I think the Mateer air raid, it's just too much. I think he's going to have another big day. He's going to be feeding off those fans. He's going to be feeding off his success last week. And I think we could see him go damn near close to 392. I think upwards of 320, 330 this week against that Michigan defense.
Yeah. I can see that as well.
If he gets the ball, he's got to get the ball in his hands. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I agree with that. So let's talk about. So they have the candidates for the Heisman. Who do you see staying in the Heisman contention, and who do you not seeing like falling out or somebody taken in, like coming up to be a Heisman contender?
Obviously, the biggest one I see falling out right now is before the season. Ryan Williams was top 5, and I think across all platforms I saw, a lot of people were having him in the top 5, top 10. He's off my Heisman board at the moment right now. After that sorry performance, and a person I've got rising is John Mateer. He played phenomenal. Him, and then I think he could, if he keeps it. I mean, I know they play Florida this week, but I like an underdog story. Byron Brown, if their team could just win a lot of games, I could see him up there in the top, finishing in the top 10 in the Heisman voting.
Do you still see Lenore Sellers staying in the top 5 right now? He could.
He very well could, but I don't think he finishes in the top 5. I think he'll finish top 10, but not in the top 5.
Okay. What about Oklahoma's quarterback, Mateer?
Mateer? I think Mateer will finish probably in the top 10.
Top 10? That's where they got him at. They got him at 2 right now. It's
just so early on.
Keep up,
it's just so early on. It's kind of hard to tell who's going to stand out from the others right now.
Yeah, I mean, was Carson Beck wasn't in the talk?
No, Beck still is not in.
Yeah, he is considered number 7 for Florida right now. He's in the top 10.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he's a plus 2,000. So
now we're on the topic of the Heisman. I don't think it's a quarterback that wins the award this year. I'm going based off of history. Every year that it's ended in a 5, running back has won the award, all the way dating back to 1935. So 35, 45, 55, 65, and on. A running back has won the award. I think Jeremiah Love steps it up and he wins the Heisman.
Yeah, right now they have him sitting at 6. So, and then, I'm even looking at Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. I mean, he could still win it.
I mean, I could see where you're going with that, Chad, but he got locked. I mean,
he was locked down.
He got locked down in that game against Texas.
Yeah, but Texas, I mean, good defense. Very good defense. So,
well, you want your Heisman to be someone that can't perform against a good defense?
That's what I'm asking you guys.
I don't see it. I don't see it for him this year. He's going to put up numbers, but he's got to perform. Everyone says for the Heisman winners, we saw it with Joe Burrow. He had that Heisman moment. He broke out of that sack, rolled out to the left, and he threw a perfect pass down the field. He's got to do those in the big games. His biggest games this season coming up. Well, later in the season, you're going to have Penn State and you're going to have Michigan. He has to go off. I mean, he really does if he wants to be considered for the Heisman later on in the season. I'm completely agreeing with Mateer. I was low on him coming into the season. And like I said before, as advertised, he's going to put up big numbers. I think they're going to be successful with him throughout the season, going down the stretch, and he will continue to perform. But I don't know if anyone looked at the Utah game this past week. Devin Dampier, he only had 205 yards. He didn't look super spectacular, but he looked a lot better. Not a lot better. He looked really good. 4 incompletions, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. 16 rushes for 87 yards. I mean, this guy he's going to be running the ball. He's going to be putting the ball out there. And I would even, give me a little bit less passing yards if you're going to rush for close to 1,000.
Yeah.
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 And especially if Utah is successful with him, we might see him in the conversation, maybe 2-3 weeks from now if he can continue these numbers. That's my big underdog story. I wanted to go with Byron Brown, but I didn't want to double up on him. Me and Josh would have been saying the same thing.
Yeah, there is another player that we could keep on our watch too. It's Isaac Brown, I believe it is, the Louisville running back.
Oh yeah,
Definitely got to keep our eyes on him because he could break out this year for Louisville. Now I am no big fan of Louisville, for reasons why. Some of y'all know why. Shout out to K2.
So I feel like we may be keeping somebody out. If he keeps up what he did in week 1, even though it was a loss, can we talk about Jeremy Bernard?
Maybe.
Like that dude, they could not lock him down, man. He was catching the balls.
Well, from what I've seen with that game, really, him and Ryan Williams were right next to each other, and Ryan Williams was opening up a lot of passing lanes for the Bernard to get the ball. So with that happening, it's really hard for when you got so many wide receivers in your offense that are good to win an award like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. You have Isaiah Horton there. I mean, he got hurt in the first quarter with a hip pinch or whatever they called it.
Hip flexor,
Yeah. So I'm still Bernard had a really good season last year. He outperformed Ryan Williams, which was a true freshman, obviously, last year. He was only 17. Now we don't have anybody underage playing on our team. We know Penn State likes to have underage. But Jeremy Bernard balled out last year. He balled out in week 1. Can we see him perform better than what he did last year? I mean, you got a throwing quarterback. You don't – obviously, we have a quarterback that doesn't run because he had 15 yards ahead of him and decided to throw in traffic. Well, what do you do? Number one, you take off running and you run towards the sideline if you're afraid to get hit.
Well, going off that chat, it was his first game starting, so it's probably some nerves in there too. But I think –
Hey, what about all these other freshmen, though? Their first game starting. Michigan's first quarterback. Ohio State's quarterback. He played Texas. He wasn't scared.
I think we really don't know. I couldn't tell you right now. Right now, I don't think any Alabama player is going to be up for the Heisman right now, in my opinion. Oh, unless things turn around.
Well, I'm saying just making it into the top 10.
Oh, yeah. Even top 10, it's hard for me to say right now with the way everybody looked this past weekend.
All right.
I think it's safe to say that you can throw some of these TCU boys in there.
Yeah.
They might make a splash. I get their pass-heavy offense. Hoover might be up there as far as passing leaders in the country. Dwyer as their main threat receiver. He's getting – just based off last week, he's getting 9 catches, 136. Even with almost passing for 300 yards, they had a running back that averaged 10 yards per carry in Barnes. Kevorion, however you say it. I think it's Kevorion Barnes. So maybe they become a little bit more balanced as the season goes on, and you could see one of these guys sneak into that Heisman talk.
All right.
I think you got another game here that could be an upset alert.
If you say Alabama,
no, I really wanted to, but I scratched them off. I've got this circled on my game list. Baylor, SMU.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, Baylor, if they can get their passing defense corrected, because I know or was it Auburn's passing defense that was horrible?
I think it was Auburn's passing defense.
Baylor
gave it 108 yards.
Oh, okay. Well, if Baylor can keep them close and everything, I don't see why not.
I think they can keep them within striking distance. That's going to be a game that I think a lot of people are going to expect SMU to just go in there, just air it out, score 40, 50 points. Who knows? They could just keep running it up. But that passing defense looked really good last week for Baylor, only giving up 108 yards to a team that kept the starter in the whole game.
Yeah, and I mean, Auburn's wide receiving core isn't too bad either.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is it was an efficient 108 yards.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of incompletion. So you can't let a team like SMU pass 30 times and only have 4 or 5 incompletions. So it's going to come down to just making them a little bit less efficient down the stretch of that game. But I've got this one circled. It's a pass-heavy offense against a good pass defense.
Who does Penn State play this week?
We play FIU, and I did.
Give me Florida International all the way.
I did write this one down because I don't know if I had said it to you guys. I've said it to a lot of people. I was impressed with Aller's play against. We played. Oh God, now I'm drawing a blank. Nevada. I was impressed with his play. He did what he had to do.
Maybe a Penn State fan.
225 yards. Our running backs didn't show up. They were not effective on the ground, which a lot of people said at the beginning of the season, oh, they're the best running back duo in the country. Well, I'm not seeing it, at least not against Nevada.
Yes.
So Drew Aller's got to step up. That's why I put this down here. He's got to step up. He's got to have a Heisman-type year if we want to be successful. We've all known this. He's got to stop making the late game mistakes. But this week, I was not impressed last week. We gave up 11 points, I believe. I need to see 3, 7, or 0 points on the board for FIU.
Give me FIU to cover.
I think here's my biggest thing with Penn State. It's like y'all didn't get a lot of y'all wide receivers involved. And biggest one, I thought one of the biggest acquisitions y'all had this offseason was Devontae Ross from Troy, the speedster. And he only had 1 catch for 4 yards.
Yeah.
And any relation to John Ross?
Not that I know of.
Just by name, just by association, I think they're both fast. They could be both good college receivers. Who knows?
Yeah.
I need to see.
Going off of what you said, 64. I have my upset of the weekend, and I know somebody that is really not going to like this because they just lost at a close game. I think Troy could go into Clemson and upset the Clemson Tigers this weekend.
Hey, Josh, I need whatever you have there in Alabama, sir.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Josh. That was game 2.
Any given Saturday.
That was game 2.
Oh, hey, sure. I believe any given Saturday. I sure do.
What? Are you fucking kidding me? What? Troy? Are you kidding me?
Hey, I went to school there, boss.
Bro, you just lost to Florida State. Pipe down, bro.
I went to Troy, so I had to.
Oh my God.
All right, I need to see a lot more out of Penn State this week. I need the defense to step up. They got to be top 5 in the country. And it's adding character to the pod.
So we're going to end it here. Next week, we do have a special guest coming up. He played for Kansas State, and he played for Northwest Missouri State in the 90s. He's a defensive end. He will be our guest next week, so tune in to see that. And we will see you all next week. Welcome to Wake Up